welcome to Mental Health. I'm sorry I haven't been around the last couple of weeks, but I kind of had something come up. My girlfriend went through psychosis and spent a week in the psych ward, So, but I was scared for a while before I knew what happened because I didn't talk to her for like 24 hours or so, and I knew something was up. And then when she said it was psych ward stuff, I was like, okay, I can deal with this. Kind of the perfect boyfriend for this situation. So so I went and dealt with it. A joke that I've written from the situation is how I went to visit her when she got out for a few days, and at the end of the few days she tells me, I wish we had more in common. I was like, what? You just went through psychosis and went to the psych ward. What more do you want? Sam laughing there. We're going to be interviewing Sam, but the tag to that joke is, and then she just looks at me and says, yeah, but we didn't do it together. All right. Today on Mental Health, we've got comedian, big fan of metal, Sam Demaris. Yeah, say hello.
Hey, how's it going, buddy?
Oh, it's going well. I'm glad I get to see you and do this with you because I've been talking to you about doing it for a while now. And I hadn't seen you in a while because of comedy isn't really a thing anymore up here in Canada. So, yeah.
There's that. And then I was supposed to do it a few days ago, but I went and got vaccinated, and the second one kicked my ass so bad that I was literally like, I would just rather have COVID.
Yeah.
It was bad. It was really, really bad.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
But I'm back. I'm among the living. And I'm happy to do this thing.
Oh, well, I don't want to get talking into COVID stuff because with me and my being schizophrenic, I'll run right into conspiracy theories, and then a lot of people stop watching this. So more people might start watching this. Who knows? But yeah.
I'm vaccinated. I don't need to talk about it anymore. I don't give a shit.
It's done. It's done. Right? And you don't have the Jean Chrétien going on. As I call the Jean Chrétien was the prime minister in like the 90s who had the lip, yeah. So some people were getting that side effect. So yeah, yeah, right.
I missed that.
And I made a meme, and it said, "Look who's laughing now," and then I had Jean Chrétien on it because I know I made fun of him when I was a kid. Yeah.
Too soon?
Too soon? Maybe. No,
I don't know.
There is no too soon with us. You know that.
It's true. We have a different statute of limitations.
Oh yeah, different countries. So yeah. Are you in Texas right now, or where are you?
I'm in Texas. LA is just a complete shit show, so I decided to bail and came back to Texas, where everything is open. Everything's been open, and the numbers aren't crazy.
Yeah, imagine that, right? Being a recovering drug addict myself, I can't help but look at all the statistics of how the overdoses have increased in the last year and everything, and how many suicides have been happening more than usual. And it's just like,
because you ain't got shit to do.
Pardon me?
Because people don't have anything else to do.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So, yeah. But metal's pretty awesome. What was the last concert you went to before the lockdowns and stuff?
The last one. It might have been New Year's Eve. Oh no, the last show I went to was the final Slayer show.
Oh wow, yeah, that would have been awesome.
The second to last one. They did 2 nights back to back in LA, and I went to the second to last one.
Oh yeah,
so it was cool because Ministry played, and I hadn't seen them in forever.
Yeah.
Phil Anselmo played with the Illegals, which was awesome because he really did nothing but Pantera covers. Ice-T was there with Body Count.
Yeah.
And then
they just won a Grammy.
Yeah, buddy. How cool is that?
That's pretty cool. It's a lot of people are talking about how Power Trip should have won, even though the album came out 3 years ago. It was basically just a tribute to Riley. Was it Riley? What was his name? I forget.
Me too.
Yeah. But Power Trip was amazing. I'm sorry if I screwed up his name. The vocalist died this last year. So
when Body Count did the cover of Institutionalized by Suicidal Tendencies, that video is the funniest damn thing. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't. I'll have to check that out. Does Ice-T ask for a Pepsi and everything?
No, he didn't ask for Pepsi. Yeah, he completely changes the lyrics
Oh,
to
okay.
modern day to fit his lifestyle.
Okay.
And because he's on that Law and Order show,
Yeah, yeah.
like one of the verses is him being at Law and Order and some vegan guy messing with him on set about his lunch. And guys like, you have an anger problem. He's like, ah! It's hilarious.
Oh,
Like
that's awesome.
they should have won a Grammy for that. It was so funny.
Yeah, I actually work at a vegan restaurant.
One of the
Prep
verses
cooking.
about he wants to go and kill people on Call of Duty on Xbox, and his wife doesn't want to play Xbox, and so he flips out about that. It's awesome. It's a good cover because they don't really change anything instrumentally, but the recording quality is today's recording quality of institutionalized. So it's worth it just for that.
Yeah,
But then the lyrics are also happen to be hilarious.
yeah. I think I have a reissue of that album on vinyl here. Yeah, I have the one Suicidal Tendency album, and it does have that song. Yeah.
I hung out with him one night. It was at a Slayer show, and someone told him I was a comedian, and so he started telling me street jokes, and then I started firing them right back, and we must have hung for like half an hour just rapid firing jokes back and forth to each other. He's a pretty funny dude.
That's great. Yeah, yeah. Like usually we hate that stuff, but when it's people we look up to, it's like okay.
Oh yeah, someone does it to me after a show, and I'm like, dude, get away from me.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
it's Mike Muir, I'm like, I'll do this all night.
Oh, exactly. Or at least he didn't follow something up with like, "Hey, you could put that in your skit." You know,
No, he never did that.
that's good. That's good. That would have appreciated the interaction a bit. I bet.
Well, I'm pretty sure also a guy who's also in the entertainment industry has enough sense to like, especially as long as he's been in it, he's probably, yeah, this guy's probably gonna hate that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, good thing he's that smart, right? Because we know how that conversation goes.
Yeah, he's a funny dude.
Awesome. Yeah. I know you're a big fan of metal and you're always going to shows and stuff. You've met a lot of cool people over the years. But yeah. So like no, I'm not gonna get you to do a small list, but I know we've been talking about when you saw Rob Zombie last. Like that was a fun show. And you met Manson and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, and the funny thing is, the last time I saw Rob Zombie in person, walked up to him, just started a conversation, and we ended up talking for a bit, and then like to the point where like I walked back to his car and we were talking, and he was like, "Man, you're pretty cool." Blah blah blah. He's like, you don't get real like conversations anymore. He's like, people just come up and all they want to do is talk about music. And I told him, I go, when I was 17, I met someone, and he said, if you ever want to hang out with any of your heroes, he's like, don't treat them like they're famous, because they don't get regular conversations anymore. He goes, that's really good advice. I go, yeah. When I was 17, the guy who told me that was you.
Oh wow. Wow.
He told me that when I was 17, and then I did it to him 2 years ago at the Rainbow, and ended up hanging out with him all night. I'm like, yeah, you're the guy who told me this. I've been doing it for years, and it does not fail, and it just worked on you.
Oh, that's classic. Wow, that's pretty amazing. The only story like that I kind of have is I had to drive Ken Shamrock around because he did a signing in like a comic book store thing. He did that in Ottawa, so I had to drive back to my hometown. And then on the way back, we bonded more talking about like geology and how like glaciers carved out the Great Lakes than anything else. It was weird.
I think the coolest hang. Ooh, it's kind of hard. I was really good friends with the guys from Poison the Well, so I don't want to throw them under the bus, but I think the coolest one had to be Kerry King.
Yeah.
Especially because I had heard rumors that he was a dick for so long. And when I met him, man, he was just really cool, really down to earth. And the thing about Kerry, though, is that, like, if you're hanging out backstage with him, he will make the rounds and he will hang out and talk to every person there. But when he's done, when that conversation is over, he's done.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just don't come back to him messing with him about something else because he's talking to somebody else now.
Yeah.
But he was really just not because he looks mean.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everything about him looks uninviting and unwelcoming. I had heard stories from other people who met him that he was a dick, and then he just was not. He was really cool, and I like to drink, and so does he. So, like, we were the last two people in that dressing room, by the way. He was like, I'm always the last man standing after every show, blah, blah, blah. I was like, yeah, when it comes to just drinking, I'm usually the last guy partying too. But
I got to the point where I skipped the party and I just be doing my drugs by myself because I'm an addict.
Well, my thing is, I'm usually that way. Like, I'll sit there and just pound booze. But if there's even a possibility of me going backstage, I'm like, okay, let me slow down so I don't make an ass of myself.
Yeah.
And then as soon as the hang is over, I'm like, woohoo, I just met blah, blah, blah. Glug, 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 glug. Then I wake up and they're like, what you and that guy talk about? I'm like, I have no idea.
But I know I did it. That's the important
part. I got pictures.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Cool. Yeah. Slayer, we gotta love them. One of the big four. What would you rank your favorite of the big four?
Okay, so when I was a kid, they were a big part of why I was in the metal period. Metallica would have been tops.
Yeah. But what year is this? Because we all, yeah.
So I want to say 86, 87.
I was born in 86. So
I heard the song Battery and that changed my whole life.
Yeah.
So they were easily the tops. And then back then, Megadeth was number 2, Slayer was 3, Anthrax was 4. Today, I would say Slayer 1. I would still say Metallica 2.
Okay, you can have your opinion.
Just because I have memories of the old days, like what they're doing now is, I swear to God, they need to do what Kiss did and just stop making albums and just tour and play the shit we want to hear. Yeah. Like,
all right.
No more new stuff. Just keep belting out Master of Puppets and that shit. Megadeth. So when I was younger, I really did not like them at all.
Oh wow.
And as I've grown older, I've gotten a lot more appreciation for them. And then knowing my musician friends, like all my friends who play guitar swear by Dave Mustaine. They're like, this is one of the greatest guitarists walking the planet. And so when I started to listen to it with those ears, to really listen to what he was doing, I definitely like Megadeth a lot more than I used to. Anthrax is still my bottom of the big four because while they have a lot of tracks that I really, really, really like, they've also got a lot of duds. And they just seem like they were just a party band. You know what I mean? They're fun. They're fun like in the generation before them, the way AC/DC was fun. Just crank it up, crack it open a beer, and just kind of rock out. But there's not going to be anything deep or meaningful here. It's just purely the fun. And I honestly, I didn't like Anthrax at all when I was younger. I came to appreciate Anthrax because I saw them live because White Zombie was opening for them.
Okay.
And by the way, I was the biggest White Zombie fan on the planet. Rob, I'm kind of hit or miss on the solo stuff.
Yeah.
But when they were White Zombie, you could not find any. If they came within 300 miles of me, I got in the car and I went. I was a huge White Zombie fan. So they opened for Anthrax, and I went, and I of course watched White Zombie, was rocking out, whatever. And I was hanging out talking to some of my friends, and then the lights went down, and Anthrax took the stage, and then after I watched them live, I was like, hey, I've kind of been missing the boat on this a little bit. And so then I dug in deeper, and I got to some albums. I'm like, not a fan of this track, not a fan of this track. Then you get to like track 4 or 5. I'm like, oh wow, yeah, you guys do have it.
Okay. I kind of stuck around for the show that I went to then, because Killswitch Engage was opening for Anthrax maybe like 4 years ago or so in Toronto. And I went and watched the Killswitch set and everything. It was really cool because like I was at the back of the room, and then I was like, you know what, I want to get close. So I ended up just walking right to the rail and then being on the rail. That never happens, you know. Like it was like I felt like Moses and I split the seas or whatever, and like wound up on the rail just before is it Jesse? I don't remember his name. He always points out to someone in the crowd and says, "Hey, how's it going? Thanks for coming." You know, and he did that to the guy right next to me. It was cool just to be there. But I didn't really like Anthrax, so being in Toronto, I didn't live in Toronto at the time, so I was like, I'd rather do an open mic and do some comedy while I'm here. So I went down the street to a crappy open mic, Enemies of Ian, and did that mic instead. And it was weird, right?
No, sir. If I buy tickets, even if it's for the opener, because I spent that money, I don't leave.
Yeah.
And I've been turned on to a lot of cool bands that way. I'm not a fan of Queensryche, but I ended up watching Queensryche because Motorhead opened for them.
Yeah.
And I bought the ticket. I was like, I'm gonna stick around and watch Queensryche. It was a fun live show. I'm still not a big Queensryche guy, but it was a fun live show. Like I said, I developed my appreciation for Anthrax because of that show. The first time I ever saw Megadeth live, I bought tickets to Megadeth because Motorhead was opening, and I stuck around because I paid for the ticket.
2012 or earlier.
Yeah.
That was a gigantic tour. It actually went to my hometown, Kingston, and the show was on Super Bowl Sunday. So some people went to Super Bowl parties instead of that, but they missed out because that was a fun show.
Yeah, man. And so here's the thing. Even when I wasn't a fan of Megadeth, I was always a fan of Peace Sells.
Yeah.
And then, God, watching that song live, like I can't even hear it on album anymore. Because when they play Peace Sells live, it's like 8 minutes long.
Yeah, it's special. Yeah, it's all.
Yeah, man, it is awesome.
Yeah. I just love like I know Dave gets the reputation of being like hard to work with, we'll say, but like I love it because like well, I think it was either the first or second Gigant tour I saw him here in Toronto, and for the first song or two, his earpiece wasn't working right or something, and he just got pissed off, whipped the guitar across stage, and then stormed off. The drummer was the only one finishing the song by the end, and then they came back after everything was fixed and just crushed out an awesome show. So I was like, oh, that's so cool. It's so Dave.
So I've heard that, like, yeah, if he has technical problems or whatever, they'll get pissed off and just storm off stage. And then, like, a buddy of mine years ago, he was like, yeah, man, it's like, he was like, yeah, next person who throws something, I'm out of here. And then, like, people threw shit. And he's like, yeah, and he just put down the guitar and walked away, man. What a ripoff. And I was like, why are you throwing shit?
Yeah, it's Dave. Like,
why are you throwing shit at the guy you came to see?
That doesn't make sense either. But like another reason why I love Dave, because like he's an addict, he's recovering and everything, and so I've got that piece of him too, right? And just the fact, you look at the Big Four, all right? He taught James how to play. James didn't play when they first started Metallica.
He really can't still.
Yeah, there you go. He still can't. Yeah, he's always just doing the downstroke as fast as he can. Yeah. Kerry King, he was majorly influenced by Dave, right? And then when Metallica first went to New York and Anthrax saw like Dave playing, I was like, okay, we got to speed things up a bit. Like without Dave, I really doubt the Big Four would be the Big Four.
Good point. Yeah, no, like I said, it's all my guitarist friends. Because I never really gave them that much of a chance. I was surprised to find out all of them were like, dude, you really got to listen to what he's doing with that guitar. And one of my buddies was like, you try to do it, and you're like, does this guy have like 7 fingers? How the hell does he do this? But to the point when I was saying, like, why do you throw things at people or whatever? The only time I ever saw it happen, one, I laughed my ass off. 2, I thought it was justified. It was Lollapalooza. I want to say it was either 94 or 95, but the Smashing Pumpkins were on the show and the Beastie Boys.
Yeah.
And it was here in Houston, and the Smashing Pumpkins were on. The Beastie Boys were up next. And someone threw a shoe towards the stage, and Billy Corgan goes, if one more person throws a shoe up here, we're out. And we all knew that if they leave, we just get the Beastie Boys. It started raining shoes. I mean, it like when you watch 300 and they let the archers go and you see all those arrows in the sky, that's what it looked like with shoes. Nobody left that show with their shoes. I mean, hundreds of shoes flying at the Smashing Pumpkins because they were like, all we got to do is throw a shoe at you and we get the Beastie Boys? Good. Get the fuck out of here.
Oh, that's amazing. Amazing. That's a great story, too. Oh, wow.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I've been in so many shows. Like, that's the one thing I hate about my comedy career is that because like a lot of big shows happen on the weekends, is that I end up missing so many shows now. Because I mean, I'm never gonna. It's got to be something big for me to turn down a show. I mean, turn down a gig for a show.
Yeah, turn down your income, your way of life, your way of living, right? So.
Well, it's not even my way of living. It'd be one if my way of living wasn't so much fun. I'd totally be like, yeah, I'm calling in sick, boss. But my job's really fun.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm always gonna take the show. The cool thing about that is that nowadays, as opposed to when I was younger, you can just resell tickets on the internet for way more than what you bought them for.
Yeah.
So if someone books me, I'm like, well, looks like I got dual tickets for sale. And I end up putting some money in my bank from the show and from the ticket. Oh. Let's see. What was it? Last New Year's? Was it last New Year's or 2 years ago? It was Ozzy, Rob Zombie, Marilyn Manson. Jonathan Davis from Korn did something with this side project, and it was bad.
I'm gonna say that would have been going into 2019 because I think we talked about that show at Absolute like
in March of 2020.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it would have been the year before that, just because I think I remember talking about this.
Because it was so much fun though, and Marilyn Manson is notorious for being such a great live performer, but man, Rob Zombie blew him off the stage. he just crushed.
Yeah. I've seen Manson twice, I think, and the first time was at Heavy TO, and it was so he wasn't headlining, but like Slipknot was that night. But it was a show, right? And but the last time I saw them was with Rob Zombie, 2019 in August.
Twins of Evil?
Yeah, the Twins of Evil. Yeah, I've got the shirt, and yeah, like. I'm not impressed with Manson at all because like either he's too wasted and doesn't do the show or he just does the show wasted and it's not that great. Like,
well, I can tell you this much: I've seen him easily over a dozen times. I can't even count.
Do you see him in the heyday though, like in the 90s?
I was just about to say, before he got fat, it was you couldn't beat it. It was the best live show you could ever get before he got fat. But the thing is, even after he got fat, and you're right. If he's hammered, it's always going to be a crapshoot. But if he's not, if he's on point, even with the weight, he's still a great performer, man. But God, before he got fat, it was, dude, he was so ripped back then, like back in like the mid to late 90s. He used to flex his abs and break beer bottles on his abs, and he would cut himself. Like it was just insanity. His live shows were just nuts. And where like Dave Mustaine and Billy Corgan were like, you throw anything at me, I'm leaving. He would come to the front of the stage and be like, do your worst. And we just threw things at him. You just threw things at him. You beat him in the head with a shoe. He didn't care. He just kept singing. Dude, he was a madman back then. he was awesome. Like him getting old kind of sucks because the show suffered. The worst ever though, and God, it's if you were around for it in the '90s, it's completely unwatchable now. Was the Red Hot Chili Peppers? Anthony Kiedis used to be the most phenomenal electric guy on stage ever, and when he A got old and B got sober, he just kind of became a statue. And it's like, all right, man, you're fun, but I remember the old shit, and I can't watch this.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, a lot of musicians, once they get sober, it's not the same. But like, I know I'd rather a few mediocre albums from some people with them being sober than dead. You know, that's the way it is for me.
Yeah, no. And look, I'm happy for you, like that you got sober and that you're right, you're gonna live longer. Um, and I don't even mind the mediocre albums or whatever. I just don't like when it hurts the show. You
Yeah.
know,
Okay.
when it hurts the show. And the other thing is if because like okay, Megadeth, I never saw. Uh, when it comes to seeing them live, I've never seen Dave when he's not sober,
Yeah.
so I don't have any point of reference, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing is, if I went and saw a Marilyn Manson or Red Hot Chili Peppers show today, I might be really impressed. But my point of reference, my intro to these bands was just insanity.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, yeah.
I can only imagine like Megadeth back in the old days when like the drummer was like selling off pieces of his kit to get drugs and stuff at the end of shows and stuff like that. Like, that's ridiculous. But wow, right? All the same time.
Like you have Blizzard of Oz up there. I'm so glad I was not old enough to see Ozzy in the 70s or 80s because right now an Ozzy show would suck. You know.
That's true. Like I've seen I've never seen Sabbath I've never seen Ozzy on his own, but I've seen Black Sabbath 3 times with Ozzy, and yeah, he needs the stand to hold himself up basically. And
and if you look down, he's got a teleprompter.
Yeah. Oh wow.
There's a roadie like because whenever they have effects or whatever, if a roadie comes out and he's doing anything at his feet, look at his hand. He's got a towel because something got on the prompter. And I had seats in the nosebleeds once all the way off to the side of the stage, and I could look down and I could see it. Yeah, Ozzy doesn't remember his damn lyrics anymore.
Oh wow.
And part of some people would say like it's sad he doesn't remember his lyrics, but it's like okay, he's also got almost 50 years of songs.
Yeah, there's a lot to remember there. Yeah, but like the thing I don't really agree with as far as Ozzy and Sharon goes is like not letting Tony have the name and everything for the Heaven and Hell tour and everything like that. They had to actually call it Heaven and Hell rather than Black Sabbath with Dio or anything. She's like Tony Iommi is Black Sabbath. You go back and hear the stories about actually recording albums. I forget which album it is. It's closer to the later run with Ozzy, but they had to go to a castle because the first time they were recording, like they just had Tony had no ideas, and Tony has to have the ideas in order for Bill Ward to jump in with the drums, and then Geezer, and then yeah. So, but it's like to me, Tony Iommi is Black Sabbath, right?
Okay,
got my Tony Iommi pick right there. So
yes, sir. So look, if you're a fan and you know the band, then yes, Tony Iommi is Black Sabbath. But to the media and to the industry and all of that, every band belongs to the singer. Okay. And that's it's not always true, but that's the way it's always been. It's every band belongs to the singer. And I mean, because like okay, the Rolling Stones is Keith Richards. But if you ask anybody, it's Mick Jagger's band.
Oh, okay.
It's
like even like Ozzy didn't even write the lyrics most of the time stuff too, right? So it's just like
no, he's too whacked out of his gourd.
Exactly. Right?
But and then even when he went solo, Lemmy was writing half his shit.
Yeah.
But there's always gonna be a special place in my heart for Ozzy.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah.
And he's just a walking historical landmark. I don't know for how much longer.
Yeah. Well, I just got to thank you for being on Mental Health here, Sam. Is there anything you want to say or wrap up with?
Oh yeah, let's drop all the socials. Haha. I am at Sam Demaris on Twitter, SamDemaris. I am at Tyrannosaurus Black on Instagram, and I do a podcast called The Whiskey Brothers. You can check it out. We stream on Twitch, also on YouTube. I prefer for you to join us on Twitch TV/Whiskey Brothers. We're really trying to get the numbers up on that. We do a lot of cool stuff. We talk about drinking. Lately, we've been doing a lot of movie reviews, and we're gonna start doing TV show reviews for like Marvel stuff. Right now, it's Falcon and Winter Soldier, and we're about to do a big review of the Justice League Snyder Cut. Because
I saw on your Facebook you watched that last night for 4 hours.
All 4 hours. Man, it doesn't feel like 4 hours when you get to the end of it, but I started at 10
Neither
p.m.
did The Irishman, though, right? So
I still haven't watched The Irishman.
Well, then, yeah, you'll get to it. Yeah, it'll be okay. You're okay either way, you know.
This was fun though, man. I'm really glad I had the time we were able to put it together.
Yeah, I'm really thankful for you to give me your time and just to see your face. It's been like 2 years, so.
Yeah, brother. Send me a link and I'll post it. I'll post up a thing and let people know about it.
All right, will do. I'll just thank you for being on Mental Health, and I'll stop pressing the record button, and then we won't be recording anymore.
Cool, man.
This is the perfect analogy for mental health. All right, boom, I fall, and then like the jogger comes up. Oh, that happened right in front of me. Do I have to care? Looks around. Do I have to care? Oh, there's no one around. Okay, I'll just keep going.